Huh?
You just count 10 to 6 and then start.
Now? Now?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah. Right now.
Okay. 10. CNBC TV18 market update. I'm Ekta Bhatra here to tell you how exactly the markets are faring this afternoon. Well, it's turning out which is definitely seeing a lot of sluggishness at this point in time. The markets are under pressure. It seems as though the markets shrugged off the global positive cues that we saw overnight. Remember that there was a positive consumer confidence data that came out from the US. There was earnings which was better than expectations in the US as well. But it seems as though the markets are not in any mood to react to that bit of data. In fact, it seems though there is maybe some amount of caution emerging with regards to COVID-19. Experts say, however, that India's hybrid immunity will aid against COVID-19. So that is the important point to take forward, that yes, if in case there is any kind of surge that we see in terms of COVID-19 cases, India seems to be resilient because of factors such as our hybrid immunity as well as our adult population vaccination rate. Now, in terms of stocks in focus, just wanted to point out that yes, there are a couple of these stocks which are in focus, which are COVID-19 related stocks. So, for example, we have stocks such as Morpin Labs as well as Wockhardt, which seem to be buzzing around in trade. In fact, possibly on the back of maybe Wockhardt, being in focus, because at one point in time they did supply the vaccine to the UK government, but have dwindled. But nonetheless, that stock in focus probably on account of that. It's a year that for Abbott as well in today's trading session. That stock would be a lot of volume movers from the entire pharmaceutical space as well as healthcare space. So case in point would be Alchem as well as Aster DM. Diagnostic stocks after yesterday's run-up have seen some correction today. Remember that a lot of the diagnostic companies have indicated that no, they would not be, they have not seen any kind of increase in terms of COVID-19 testing or change in the, and yes, they would probably look at, rearranging or looking at supply chain to ensure that they are ready in terms of, in case there is a surge in terms of COVID-19 cases. Now, a lot of other stocks in news. Reliance is in focus. Their retail arm is going to be acquiring Metro AG's cash and carry business for around 2,850 odd crores. Ajanta Pharma, two promoter entities, have sold around 4.5% stake via a block deal. Strides is in focus because their Singapore arm has got a deferred consideration of around 525 crores for its Australian operation sale in 2019. Bandhan Bank is in focus because of the planned transfer of bad assets. Kalpataru Power as well as GMC projects where NCLT has approved the merger, and Sula, which listed at a premium of around 1.1%, not great in terms of a listing. That stock is down around 4.5%, though the company is quite positive in terms of the future of the entire industry. So that particular stock is in focus as well. These are a couple of stocks that we have in focus. The larger theme which is really playing out in today's trading session is that there is a risk-off which is taking place in the Indian market specifically. Remember, there have been high-level meetings which have been held on account of COVID-19, and it seems as though that seems to be the dominating theme at this point in time. We'll wait by for a couple of queries as well. We do have a couple of queries now. We have Renuka Bhardwaj who has said what can be expected after Reliance's takeover of cash and carry. It is overall expected to be quite a positive move for them because they would probably get more scale into, they would get a ready infrastructure in terms of what Metro Cash and Carry has, as well as they would probably increase their presence as well as their penetration in the market. So it is assumed to be quite a positive. Sanchit Agarwal is asking, what's the future of Sula looking like after its listing today? Well, in terms of demand and in terms of the industry, at least the market seems to be, waiting out to see what exactly the market evolves as. But remember that Sula's listing has also come on a day where the markets are quite cautious at this point in time. So maybe it is also being weighed down because of the fact that consumer discretionary could probably see a little bit of a slump only because of this entire COVID-19 related theme which is playing out. So do watch out for that. Now, what is the reason for sudden yearly hike of Abbott? Well, Akshat asks us that, well, Akshat, overall we are seeing more defensive buying which is taking place. There is this COVID-related theme that is playing out, like I mentioned, that could be one of the factors which could be affecting Sula at this point in time. And that's probably one of the factors which is impacting Abbott as well. Remember, it is an MNC pharma company, so it has a dedicated portfolio of drugs. You have to think about MNC pharma companies also as probably to some extent an FMCG company where they have strong brands and they get that kind of traction in the market. So maybe maybe the stock market is now looking at these stocks again, the entire pharmaceutical space again, simply because of this caution around COVID-19, and that seems to be the theme which is playing out. So these are a couple of queries that we've answered this afternoon. The overall theme for the markets is a bit of caution. Remember, it is weekly F&O expiry and we are going into a weekend of holidays as well. So maybe there would be some amount of slowdown in the overall participation of, and hence we could probably see more exaggerated moves, especially in mid caps. Well, on that note, we need to wrap up on this edition of the Market Update. Thank you very much for joining in, and do stay tuned for all the market updates through the trading session. Thanks very much.